What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of In the Earth, the newest film from director Ben Wheatley. Now, before we begin, if you like this channel, awesome, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button, as well as commenting below any video that you watch, including this one. So this movie, In the Earth, is a movie about two particular characters named Alma and Martin, who are played by Ellora and, of course, Joel Fry. And they're individuals who work for this research station in the middle of the woods. They do it because of the pandemic and COVID and all that good stuff. And basically the two characters are tasked to go retrieve supplies, retrieve information from this particular woman. And in everything that's happening as they're traveling through the woods, they basically get all their items stolen, they get beat up and stuff like that, but they don't know who did it. And they get their shoes stolen, so they are barefoot. It's very actually important to the story of that it's represented. And Martin gets this like really nasty cut on his foot, and they come across this guy named Zach in the middle of the woods, who is there because he doesn't like outside life. So it's very much a story in its essence of what it's like to be quarantined during the pandemic, you know, staying away from a whole bunch of people and so on and so forth. And with that said, the things that start to happen through this movie, because it's a horror film, become truly more and more unique, more and more hard to watch, more and more difficult to perceive. And because it's a Ben Wheatley film, there's a lot of weird and strange things that happen throughout this movie that include certain characters that start popping up and whatnot. And that's kind of where I want to leave it, because the reason I'm not talking about other characters in this movie, because it would spoil the idea of what's happening in this movie, so on and so forth. So I'll leave it at that until this movie releases, where you can watch it and see what I'm talking about. And so Ben Wheatley is one of those very, very interesting directors that I'm very, very hit or miss with. He has a couple good films with like High Rise and Free Fire, which are unique, very interesting, very visually arresting films. But he has other films that are just really obtuse and really strange, and I just can't get on board with. And then he has Rebecca, which was just a terrible movie. And so this movie, which premieres at Sundance, and Ben Wheatley is he's very much a regular for Sundance because a lot of his films have premiered there, is a movie that I was really intrigued by because, one, it's a horror film, one, it's a Ben Wheatley horror film. So with that said, you know, the oddities and uniqueness and weirdness could play really well with the movie that's represented. And so I was looking forward to seeing it. You know, it's a movie that, you know, is very much a Sundance film, is very much a midnight type movie. And so after watching it, I honestly, this is my personal opinion, I love this movie. I think it's great. It's brutal. It's disturbing. It's very much a very low budget horror film, but it presents some really interesting ideas, presents some really interesting moments, but also does it in a very unique Ben Wheatley way, where some things that he does with visual cues and stuff like that really can make you uncomfortable and really can make you confused. But the ideas of these characters, the actors themselves, do a really nice job of portraying the fear and uncomfortability and angst and just scaredness that they go through. This is very much a midsummer type movie where the material is not necessarily, it's very ambiguous in what it's trying to do sometimes, but it's so strong in its storytelling, it's so strong in its characters, that I truly feel like this movie has great potential of being a cult classic, just in the sense of what it's trying to do. Joel Fry and Laura Torchia do a really nice job as just people trying to do a specific situation, and they get involved with some really crazy stuff. And what happens to Martin's character in this movie is absolutely brutal. It's absolutely disturbing. Like when he gets that cut, but there's some things in this movie that will make you squeamish if you can't handle like blood and stuff like that. But it's a movie that takes the brutality and does some really interesting ideas with it. But the problem is it just doesn't stick the landing very well. So when you get to the very end, you're a little confused on what exactly is happening, why did it exactly happen. And the one thing that I truly do like about this movie is the way Ben Wheatley shoots the film, the way he portrays everything about the film itself, the kind of revelations as that onion starts opening, the ideas that, you know, what these characters are kind of slowly going through, the way Ben Wheatley shoots just woods and, you know, atmosphere and so on and so forth, especially in a horror film. It really gives an unsettling feel that never kind of truly lets up and never kind of lets you get a sigh of relief and stuff like that, a breath of sigh of relief. And so with that said, it's just a very well done, well shot movie that has some really interesting ideas and concepts. Does it entirely hit on all cylinders? No, but I think for the most part, I think this is a pretty successful cult classic of a film that's very much in the Midsummer or, you know, Mandy era world, where it's a movie that doesn't necessarily have to be 100% logical, but the atmosphere and the ideas and the characters themselves really kind of make great strengths in what the movie is trying to do. So if you can get on board with stuff like that, I think you'll really enjoy it like I did with this movie. So, but that's it. That's gonna be my take of It in the Earth. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Ben Wheatley's films. Have you seen any of his films? What's your favorite? What's your least favorite? All that good stuff. But if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And of course, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.